The rich traditions and cultural heritage of Native Americans. Native Americans, the original inhabitants of North America, have a profound cultural heritage that spans thousands of years. Each tribe has its own unique traditions, language, and way of life. Yet they all share a deep connection with the land and nature. This article delves into the cultural practices, survival techniques, and ongoing influence of Native American tribes. Cultural practices and traditions. The culture of Native American tribes was shaped by their environment and their belief in living in harmony with nature. Many tribes, such as the Navajo, practiced intricate weaving and pottery-making techniques passed down through generations. These art forms were not only functional, but also carried deep spiritual meanings. Patterns in blankets or pottery often told stories, represented spiritual beliefs, or honored ancestors. Music and dance played a vital role in their culture. Ceremonial dances like the ghost dance or the eagle dance were performed to connect with the spiritual world, celebrate important events, or seek healing. Drums, flutes, and rattles were commonly used to create rhythmic music that accompanied these sacred rituals. Connection to nature. Native American life was built on a deep respect for the natural world. They viewed themselves as part of nature, not separate from it. This belief influenced how they hunted, gathered food, and built their communities. For example, the Plains tribes hunted buffalo in a sustainable way, ensuring that no part of the animal went to waste. The meat was used for food, the hides for clothing and shelter, and the bones for tools and weapons. In forested regions, tribes like the Algonquin and Cherokee relied on hunting and gathering, as well as farming. They cultivated crops like maize, beans, and squash, which were staples of their diet. Their knowledge of plants extended to herbal medicine, using local flora to treat various ailments and maintain health. Social structure and family life. Native American societies were often organized into clans or extended family groups. The structure of each tribe was unique, but most were led by a council of elders or chiefs who made decisions for the community. Leadership was often based on wisdom, experience, and the ability to make fair decisions, rather than wealth or power. Families played a central role in Native American life. Children were raised not only by their parents, but by the entire community. They were taught traditional skills, values, and stories that shaped their identity and connection to their culture. Elders were highly respected as keepers of tribal knowledge and history, struggles, and resilience. The arrival of European settlers brought immense challenges to Native American tribes. Diseases, forced relocations, and battles for land disrupted their way of life. Despite these hardships, many Native American communities have fought to preserve their traditions, language, and cultural identity. In recent years, there has been a resurgence of Native American culture, with tribes working to revitalize their languages, protect sacred lands, and pass down traditional knowledge to future generations. Events like powwows, which feature traditional music, dance, and storytelling, allow Native Americans to celebrate their heritage and share it with the world. Modern influence and legacy. Today, Native Americans continue to make significant contributions to society. Their knowledge of sustainable living practices and environmental stewardship is increasingly relevant in discussions about climate change and conservation. Native American artists, musicians, and writers have also gained recognition for their work, offering unique perspectives shaped by their cultural heritage. In politics, education, and business, Native Americans are making strides to ensure that their voices are heard and their rights protected. The legacy of Native American culture is not only a part of the past but continues to influence the present and future in meaningful ways. The life and legacy of Native Americans. Native Americans, often referred to as indigenous peoples, have a rich and diverse history that predates the establishment of the United States by thousands of years. Their legacy is deeply woven into the fabric of North America, with each tribe possessing its unique culture, language, and traditions. This article explores the fascinating history, lifestyle, and contributions of Native Americans, highlighting their enduring impact on modern society. Historical background. Before the arrival of European settlers in the 15th century, the continent was home to an estimated 500 distinct tribes. From the nomadic plains tribes to the settled agricultural societies of the Southwest, Native American communities adapted to their environments in remarkable ways. Their complex societies included sophisticated governance systems, trade networks, and profound spiritual beliefs rooted in a deep respect for nature. The arrival of Europeans drastically altered the lives of Native Americans. The newcomers brought not only new technologies, but also diseases that decimated indigenous populations. Conflict, displacement, and assimilation policies followed, disrupting centuries-old ways of life. The Trail of Tears, the forced relocation of thousands of Cherokee people, is one of the most tragic examples of this period, highlighting the profound suffering experienced by Native Americans. Culture and way of life. The cultural diversity among Native American tribes is immense. Each tribe developed its own language, customs, art, and mythology. Despite these differences, a common thread runs through their cultures: a deep connection to the land and nature. The concept of land ownership, for instance, was foreign to many tribes, as they viewed the land as a shared resource that belonged to everyone and was to be respected and preserved. Daily life varied significantly depending on the tribe's geographic location. For example, the Plains tribes, such as the Lakota and Cheyenne, were known for their mastery of horseback riding and buffalo hunting. Meanwhile, the Iroquois Confederacy in the Northeast developed sophisticated agricultural systems, cultivating the Three Sisters crops: corn, beans, and squash. In the Southwest, the Pueblo tribes built intricate adobe dwellings and practiced dry farming techniques to adapt to the arid climate. Spiritual beliefs. Religion and spirituality are central to Native American cultures. Many tribes hold a belief in animism, the idea that all living and non-living things possess a spirit or life force. This belief fosters a deep respect for nature, as it is seen as a living entity. Ceremonies such as the Sun Dance of the Plains tribes and the Green Corn Ceremony of the Southeastern tribes were conducted to honor and communicate with these spirits. Native American mythology is also rich with symbolism and storytelling, serving not only as entertainment but as a way to pass down important lessons and traditions. These stories often feature animals as central figures, representing various virtues and vices, and are used to teach younger generations about morality, courage, and wisdom, struggles, and resilience. The history of Native Americans is marked by resilience in the face of immense hardship. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, U.S. policies such as the Indian Removal Act and the establishment of boarding schools sought to erase Native American culture through forced assimilation. Despite these challenges, Native American communities have worked tirelessly to preserve their languages, traditions, and identities. In recent decades, there has been a resurgence of Native American pride and activism. Movements like the American Indian Movement, AIM, in the 1960s and ongoing efforts to protect sacred lands, such as the protests at Standing Rock, have brought attention to Native American rights and sovereignty. Today, many tribes operate cultural centers and language revitalization programs to ensure that their heritage endures for future generations. Modern-day contributions. Native Americans continue to make significant contributions to contemporary society. They are leaders in environmental conservation, drawing on centuries of knowledge about sustainable living. Native American artists, writers, and musicians have also gained prominence, using their platforms to share their experiences and perspectives. Authors such as Sherman Alexie and Joy Harjo, the first Native American U.S. Poet Laureate, have shed light on the struggles and triumphs of indigenous people through their powerful works. Moreover, Native American communities are making strides in business and politics. The creation of tribal enterprises, such as casinos and tourism ventures, has bolstered economic independence. Politically, figures like Deb Haaland, the first Native American to serve as U.S. Secretary of the Interior, are breaking barriers and ensuring that indigenous voices are heard in the corridors of power. Conclusion. The story of Native Americans is one of endurance, adaptation, and unwavering spirit. Despite centuries of displacement and adversity, their cultures and traditions continue to thrive, enriching the tapestry of American history. By recognizing and respecting the contributions of Native Americans, we honor not only their past but also their invaluable role in shaping the present and future, exploring the daily life and culture of Native Americans. Native Americans, also known as indigenous peoples, have a rich and diverse history spanning thousands of years. Their cultures, lifestyles, and traditions vary greatly across tribes, but they share a deep connection to nature and a strong sense of community. This article explores the daily life, survival techniques, and unique cultural practices of Native American tribes. Daily life and survival. Native American daily life depended heavily on the region they inhabited and the resources available. For example, the Plains tribes, like the Sioux and Comanche, were nomadic hunters who followed buffalo herds across the vast grasslands. Their entire lifestyle was centered around the buffalo, which provided food, clothing, tools, and even shelter in the form of teepees made from buffalo hides. In contrast, the Iroquois Confederacy in the northeastern woodlands lived in longhouses and practiced agriculture. They cultivated the Three Sisters, corn, beans, and squash, which formed the basis of their diet. The Pueblo tribes in the southwest built complex adobe villages and grew crops using sophisticated irrigation systems to adapt to the harsh desert climate. Community and family. Community life was at the heart of Native American societies. Families often lived together in extended family groups, with elders playing a key role in decision-making and teaching traditions. Children were highly valued and were taught through storytelling and hands-on experience. Each tribe had its own social structure, with distinct roles for men and women. Men typically hunted and protected the tribe, while women were responsible for gathering food, preparing meals, and maintaining the household. Spirituality and beliefs. Spiritual beliefs were deeply intertwined with daily life. Native Americans saw the natural world as alive and imbued with spirits. This belief led to practices that honored the land, animals, and plants. Ceremonies, such as the sun dance, were performed to celebrate the changing seasons, seek guidance, or heal the sick. The use of medicinal plants was also a key part of Native American healing practices. The role of storytelling in Native American culture. Storytelling has always been a central part of Native American culture, serving as a way to preserve history, teach lessons, and share spiritual beliefs. These stories, often passed down orally through generations, are rich in symbolism and wisdom, reflecting the values and experiences of the tribe. This article explores the significance of storytelling in Native American life and its lasting influence on their culture. Preservation of history and traditions. For many Native American tribes, storytelling was the primary way to preserve history and traditions. Since most tribes did not have written languages, they relied on oral storytelling to pass down their knowledge, history, and cultural practices. Elders, who were considered the keepers of wisdom, played a vital role in this process. They shared stories that taught younger generations about their tribe's origins, important events, and the lessons learned from past experiences. Through storytelling, Native Americans were able to maintain a strong sense of identity and cultural continuity. These stories were more than just entertainment. They were an educational tool, offering insight into the tribe's way of life, values, and relationships with the natural world. Moral lessons and life guidance. Many Native American stories carry important moral lessons, often conveyed through animal characters or supernatural beings. These stories were used to teach children about courage, kindness, honesty, and respect for others. For example, trickster tales, which feature cunning and mischievous characters like the coyote or the raven, were common across many tribes. These stories often highlighted the consequences of selfish or foolish behavior, teaching important life lessons in a way that was memorable and engaging. In addition to teaching morals, stories also provided guidance on how to live in harmony with nature. They often emphasize the interconnectedness of all living things and the importance of respecting the land, animals, and plants. This reverence for the natural world is a key element of Native American spirituality, and it was reinforced through stories that highlighted the sacredness of life. Spiritual and mythological beliefs. Storytelling was also a means of exploring and expressing spiritual beliefs. Many Native American myths explain the creation of the world, the origin of the tribe, and the roles of gods, spirits, and animals in shaping human life. For example, in some tribes, the earth is believed to rest on the back of a giant turtle, a symbol of endurance and stability. Other creation stories tell of sky gods, earth mothers, and animal spirits who played roles in shaping the world and guiding the tribe. These spiritual stories were not only a way to explain the mysteries of existence, but also a way to connect with the spiritual realm. Ceremonial storytelling was often part of religious rituals, with stories being told during dances, feasts, or vision quests to invoke blessings from the gods or ancestors. Cultural resilience and continuity. Despite centuries of colonization, forced relocation, and cultural suppression, Native American tribes have managed to preserve their storytelling traditions. Today, many Native American communities continue to share their stories through oral recitation, books, theater, and film. These stories remain a powerful tool for maintaining cultural identity and transmitting values to future generations. In modern times, Native American authors like Louise Erdrich and Anne Scott Momaday have brought traditional storytelling to a wider audience, blending ancient tales with contemporary themes. This fusion of old and new shows the resilience of Native American storytelling traditions and their ability to adapt to changing circumstances while staying true to their cultural roots. Conclusion: storytelling in Native American culture is more than just a way to entertain. It is a means of preserving history, teaching important life lessons, and exploring spiritual beliefs. Through stories, Native Americans have maintained a deep connection to their past, their values, and the natural world. In a world where oral traditions are often overlooked, the enduring power of Native American storytelling serves as a reminder of the importance of cultural preservation and the wisdom passed down through generations. Native American relationship with the land, a deep spiritual connection. Native American cultures are known for their profound connection to the land. For thousands of years, they lived in harmony with nature, seeing themselves as an integral part of the natural world. Their relationship with the environment was not just about survival, but was deeply spiritual, shaping their cultural practices, beliefs, and daily lives. This article explores the unique and respectful relationship Native Americans had with the land and its lasting influence on their way of life. The land as a living entity. For Native Americans, the land was more than just a resource to be used. It was a living entity imbued with spirits. They believed that the earth, rivers, mountains, trees, and animals all had their own spirit or essence. This belief is known as animism, and it fostered a sense of respect and responsibility toward the environment. Unlike many modern societies that view land as property to be owned and exploited, Native Americans saw themselves as caretakers of the land. They believed that they were given the responsibility to protect and preserve the earth for future generations. This stewardship ethic was reflected in their sustainable practices of hunting, farming, and gathering. Sustainable living practices. Native American communities developed sophisticated techniques to live in harmony with their surroundings. They understood the importance of balance in nature and practiced sustainable ways of obtaining food, shelter, and other resources. In agricultural societies such as the Iroquois, sustainable farming practices were central to their way of life. The Three Sisters planting method, corn, beans, and squash planted together, was an excellent example of their deep knowledge of the environment. This system improved soil fertility, reduced pests, and maximized crop yields without depleting the land. For the nomadic plains tribes, like the Lakota and Cheyenne, the buffalo was essential. They depended on the buffalo for food, clothing, tools, and shelter. However, they hunted with restraint, taking only what they needed and using every part of the animal. This respect for the buffalo ensured that the herds remained plentiful, allowing future generations to continue benefiting from them. Spiritual practices linked to the land. The land was at the heart of Native American spirituality. Ceremonies and rituals were often tied to the natural world and its cycles, such as the changing of seasons or the phases of the moon. Many tribes held sacred ceremonies, like the sun dance of the Plains tribes, to honor the earth and its elements. Mountains, rivers, and other natural landmarks were often seen as sacred sites where the spiritual world and the physical world connected. For example, the Black Hills in South Dakota are considered sacred by the Lakota people, who believe the hills are a place of great spiritual power. These sites were used for rituals, prayers, and vision quests, where individuals sought guidance from the spirits. Impact of colonization on native lands. The arrival of European settlers dramatically changed the Native American relationship with the land. The concept of land ownership and the exploitation of natural resources clashed with Native American beliefs. As settlers claimed land for farming, mining, and logging, Native Americans were forced off their ancestral lands through treaties, violence, and forced relocation. The displacement of Native Americans from their lands had devastating effects. not only on their ability to sustain themselves, but also on their spiritual connection to the earth. Sacred sites were destroyed or made inaccessible, and many Native American communities struggled to maintain their traditional way of life. Modern efforts to reconnect with the land. In recent years, many Native American tribes have worked to reclaim their ancestral lands and restore their cultural practices. Tribal governments are increasingly involved in environmental conservation efforts, working to protect endangered species, restore ecosystems, and manage natural resources sustainably. In addition, many Native American communities are reviving traditional agricultural practices, such as seed saving and sustainable farming, to ensure food sovereignty and reconnect with their spiritual heritage. These efforts are not only about preserving the environment, but also about healing the relationship between Native Americans and the land, which has been fractured by centuries of colonization. Conclusion: the Native American relationship with the land is one of deep respect, spirituality, and sustainability. Their belief in the interconnectedness of all life fostered a sense of responsibility toward the environment that is still relevant today. As modern society faces environmental challenges, the wisdom of Native American practices offers valuable lessons in living harmoniously with the natural world. Reconnecting with this ancient knowledge can help guide efforts to protect the earth for future generations.